Hello and welcome to NDTV 24/7. I'm Rohit Wellington. Let's begin with our top story. The International Court of Justice at The Hague has asked Russia to suspend military operations in Ukraine. In its order, the World Court announced provisional measures saying that the Russian Federation shall immediately suspend the military operations that it commenced on the 24th of February in the territory of Ukraine. The court also said that both parties shall refrain from any action which might aggravate or extend the dispute.
That the measures to be indicated need not be identical to those requested. The Court considers that, with regard to the situation described above, the Russian Federation must, pending the final decision in the case, suspend the military operations that it commenced on 24 February 2022 in the territory of Ukraine. The Court considers that the Russian Federation must also ensure that any military or irregular armed units which may be directed or supported by it, as well as any organizations and persons which may be subject to its control and direction, take no steps in furtherance of those military operations.
Right, joining us for more on this is Vishnu Shom. Vishnu, tell us what happened at the court, particularly how the judges voted.
I think it's very interesting, Rohit, that the Indian judge in the International Court of Justice, Justice Dalveer Bhandari, actually voted against Russia. Now, while the judge is entirely independent and is supposed to make an independent judgment based on how he considers the facts, he was in fact nominated to the International Court of Justice entirely on the basis of the support of the government of India and various missions over a period of time. So therefore, if you've got the Indian judge at the International Court of Justice, though independent, voting against Russia, it is interesting because it does in fact indicate that he's voted against what India has done in other fora over a period of time. And in the last few weeks, if you recall, India has always abstained in votes in international fora in the Ukraine-Russia issue. But those are official government of India positions. What we now see is an Indian judge who was backed to the hilt by the government of India towards his nomination to the International Court of Justice, choose to vote against Russia on the basis of how he has interpreted the facts in the Russia-Ukraine situation. How New Delhi will actually see this situation, this development, will actually be fairly interesting.
All right, Vishnu, we leave it there. Thanks very much for joining us with those details. And US President Joe Biden has announced sending longer-range anti-aircraft weapons to Ukraine. Listen in.
Thank the Congress for appropriating these funds. This new package on its own is going to provide unprecedented assistance to Ukraine. It includes 800 anti-aircraft systems to make sure the Ukrainian military can continue to stop the planes and helicopters that have been attacking their people and to defend their Ukrainian airspace. And at the request of President Zelinski, we have identified and are helping Ukraine acquire additional longer-range anti-aircraft systems and the munitions for those systems. Our new assistance package also includes 9,000 anti-armor systems. These are portable, high accuracy shoulder-mounted missiles that the Ukrainian forces have been using with great effect to destroy invading tanks.
And Ukrainian President Zelinski compared the horror of Russia's war in his country to Pearl Harbor and 9/11 attacks in his address to the US Congress on Wednesday. This is a terror that Europe has not seen for 80 years, Zelensky said. Before his speech, Zelensky got a standing ovation from the US Congress.
Пані та панове, друзі, американці, в своїй величній історії ви маєте сторінки, які дозволяють вам зрозуміти українців, зрозуміти нас зараз, коли це потрібно, саме зараз потрібно найбільше. Згадайте Перл-Харбор. Страшний, трагічний ранок 7 грудня 41-го року, коли ваше небо було чорним від атакуючих вас літаків. Згадайте це. Згадайте 11 вересня. Страшний день 2001 року, коли зло намагалося перетворити ваші незалежні території, ваші міста у поле битви.
Now, after the Congress's defeat in the 5 states, the G23, or the group of dissident leaders in the party, met at Ghulam Nabi Azad's home in Delhi on Wednesday evening. Those who drove to Mr. Azad's home for a dinner meet included Kapil Sibal, Shashi Tharoor, Anand Sharma, Manish Tiwari, Raj Babbar, among others. After the meeting, the leaders released a statement saying that, in fact, that statement talks of collective and inclusive leadership and decision-making at all levels. Let's go across to Arvind Gunasekar, who's been tracking all the developments. Arvind, this is a rather interesting statement. Have the dissident leaders announced any further plans?
Yeah, Rohit, after the meeting at the residence of Ghulam Nabi Azad, the rebels have issued a statement saying that there has to be a inclusive leadership at all levels. That's the first important point in that statement that has been released by the rebel group. The second group is that asking for the Congress party to initiate dialogue with the like-minded parties to build a coalition for 2024 election. That's a very second important line. And the third important point in that statement, the small statement that has been signed by all the 16 leaders who attended this meeting at the residence of Ghulam Nabi Azad, was regarding the future course of action that this rebel group will be taking forward. So these are the 3 important points that have been issued through this particular statement. Almost 16 senior leaders took part in this meeting, including 5 sitting member of parliament, 2 from Rajya Sabha and 3 from Lok Sabha. So what we are being told is that there will be further few more meetings in the coming days by the same rebel group, and also they will be urging the Congress party to act on all these 3 points that have been issued, that have been decided by all these 16 members in its meeting.
All right, Arvind Gunasekar, thanks very much for joining us with those details. And what's happening in the BJP? A flurry of meetings for the BJP on Wednesday ahead of the government formation in 4 states they won, which will take place immediately after Holi. Now, sources say Pramod Sawant and N. Biren Singh are assured of a second term as Chief Minister. This after they met with Prime Minister Modi. Now, UP Chief Minister was in Delhi too to hold talks with the BJP leadership over the government formation in the state. For the moment, not much clarity on Uttarakhand's top job after the incumbent Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami lost his seat. On Wednesday, state MPs met with Amit Shah. Former Defence Secretary Shashikant Sharma and former Air Vice Marshal Jasbir Singh Panisar were charged by the CBI on Wednesday in the Augusta Westland case involving corruption in the purchase of VVIP choppers. With the Defence Ministry giving its clearance, the CBI filed a supplementary charge sheet in the 3,200 crore rupee case, naming Shashikant Sharma and 4 other senior IAF officials as accused in the case. Mr. Sharma was the Joint Secretary Air in the Defence Ministry between 2003 and 2007 and went on to become Defence Secretary and Auditor later. The other big story, the country on Wednesday started administering COVID vaccine to young people aged between 12 and 14 years. The Corbevax COVID vaccine for those aged 12 to 14 will cost around 900 rupees in the market before taxes and will be sold to the government at 145 rupees, the lowest in the world.
4.71 crore children aged 12 to 14 have now been included in the world's largest COVID vaccination drive. And everyone over 60 can also take the 3rd precautionary dose even if they do not have comorbidities. Across the country, vials of the new Corbevax vaccine were opened, the only vaccine available for 12 to 14-year-olds. But registration on the CoWIN portal did not open for this age group until after 2 p.m. and so turnout was low in both Delhi and Mumbai.
पहला दिन है, रेस्पॉन्स थोड़ा कम है, पर धीरे धीरे बढ़ने वाला है और किसी बच्चे को फियर नहीं है वैक्सीन लेने का, तो आपके बच्चों को प्रोटेक्ट करिए इस महामारी से.
Vaccination for the 12 to 14 age group begins from today, and this of course is a vulnerable group because they're back in school but they've not been vaccinated yet. And now of course with vaccines available for them, kids are beginning to turn up at vaccination centers like this one. This of course is the BKC Jumbo COVID-19 vaccination center.
We haven't created the online portal yet, so people are not aware that online vaccination, they can take the online appointment as well. Apart from that, other people, they are not aware that this center is functional for 12 plus for the Corbevax. So this is the lagging point so far, but that will be fixed.
But in Hyderabad, many young beneficiaries walked in without registration and got their first dose.
First day itself, you decided you must get your vaccine.
Yes, it's better, right? COVID chances are less then.
today, now I got vaccinated and I'm so better.
In Guwahati, the big day was launched in style at a massive event, and schools were involved in the registration process. Assam is turning schools into vaccine centers.
The vaccination in Assam has been inaugurated by the Chief Minister, and we did see a lot of enthusiasm among young kids who are being inoculated.
Biological E, the makers of Corbevax, have not yet published their trial data, but parents say they trust the government's approval processes.
I'm having a confidence they will give right and good thing for the children also. But being a mother, I'm getting a little tense.
But the rollout seems to have skipped a few key steps. A member of the nodal government body that oversees clinical trial data and recommends a vaccine for rollout says they weren't involved in approving Corbevax and haven't seen its efficacy against the dominant Omicron variant. The government denies this, saying that the rollout is based on, quote, enough scientific data and was in line with WHO recommendations. Biological E says they've been sharing data with the government at regular intervals, including its efficacy against Omicron.
Every stop we have shared data. So much so, I think our last meeting with the Intagi officials was on 10th. Was it 10th? Yeah, on 10th of March.
The vaccine, which so far is being given only at government centers, will be priced at Rs 800 for private hospitals, excluding taxes. At Rs 145 for the government, Corbevax is amongst the cheapest vaccines in the world. With Uma Sudhir, Saurabh Gupta and Ratnadip Chaudhary, Meher Pandey for NDTV.
Now, the chief of BioE, which makes Corbevax, has told NDTV that the company can't state Corbevax's precise efficacy against Omicron since the vaccine was benchmarked against previous variants.
So what does the preliminary data show, Mahima? How effective percentage-wise against Omicron?
Well, it's hard to determine percentages because it wasn't a statistical model and we don't have sufficient data to corroborate anything in terms of percentages. Like I can tell you it was close to 90% for the original strain, 80% for Delta, but we don't have the statistical models to suggest this.
Now, a powerful 7.3 magnitude quake jolted eastern Japan on Wednesday night, rattling the capital, Tokyo, and prompting a tsunami warning for parts of the country. 2 million homes in Japan lost power. However, a government agency in India has said that there is no tsunami threat to India. During the second wave of coronavirus, we've seen Shikhar Dhawan reach out to the sick and needy. On Wednesday, he just took another step towards using his celebrity image to change the game, not on the field, but this time by joining forces with change makers. Rika Roy caught up with him for an exclusive interview.
You have seen the game changer, now see the do-gooder gabbar. Shikhar Dhawan is with us and today he launched the Shikhar Dhawan Foundation. Shikhar, game change aapne field mein kiya hai. This is also another way you're changing the game. Tell us about this. There are subtle similarities with cricket. Here also you're associating with 11 NGOs. Tell us what is the vision.
Yeah, it's called Impact 11 and बिल्कुल मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि मालिक ने मुझे इस मुकाम पे पहुंचा दिया कि पहले भी मैं हेल्प करता था बट आई लव बीइंग अ गिवर एंड एट द सेम टाइम आई फील कि मैं अपनी फाउंडेशन के साथ एक डीपर इम्पैक्ट और अपने देश में और सेवा कर सकता हूँ और आई गॉट ग्रेट सपोर्ट ऑफ माय फ्रेंड्स एंड बिजनेस पीपल तो उन सब के सपोर्ट के साथ एक ऐसी फाउंडेशन हम शुरू कर रहे हैं जिसमें हम 11 NGOs को अडॉप्ट करेंगे कोलैबोरेट करेंगे और फिर हर एक एस्पेक्ट में वर्क कर सकते हैं ये नहीं कि सिर्फ एक एस्पेक्ट को लेके जैसे स्पोर्ट्स का हो गया कोई बट स्पोर्ट्स का ओल्ड एज होम या एनिमल शेल्टर चाइल्ड एजुकेशन मेल न्यूट्रिशन अभी हमने रिसेंटली अभी बस शुरुआत ही है तो उसमें भी हमने 20 लाख का हमारे को राशन आ गया जो 2000 फैमिलीज को जाएगा.
हाउ विल यू पिक दीज एनजीओज? कुछ यार्ड स्टिक्स है कि ऐसे कुछ हो इसके जरिए से हम पिक करें?
बिल्कुल, जो एक रेकी करी जाएगी उनकी कि भाई कैसा कर रहे हैं वो कैसा नहीं कर रहे और ट्रांसपेरेंसी कैसी है कि भाई जहाँ पे भी हम एड प्रोवाइड करेंगे या कोलैबोरेट करेंगे तो मेक श्योर कि भाई जो जिस जगह पे जाना चाहिए वो सारा उसी जगह पे जाए, और ऑफ कोर्स इट विल बी अ वेरी ट्रांसपेरेंट थिंग.
शिखर, क्योंकि यू आर अ स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन, स्पोर्ट्स को किस तरह से बेनिफिट होगा, ग्रास रूट लेवल में किस तरह के आप काम कर सकते हैं विद द पावर दैट यू हैव नाउ?
ग्रास रूट लेवल पे यही कि जैसे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में हेल्प करने में, ग्राउंड बनाने में, और इवन जैसे स्कूल्स बनाने में, कि एक स्कूल का भी हमारा है कि हम स्कूल बनाएंगे गर्ल्स के लिए, तो वहाँ पे जब स्कूल बनेगा तो वहाँ पे स्पोर्ट्स भी ऑटोमेटिकली आएगी, तो पढ़ाई भी होएगी साथ में और स्पोर्ट्स भी होएगी. वी हैव जस्ट स्टार्टेड. तो जैसे अभी यहाँ से दिल्ली टू पंजाब राशन का है तो वहाँ तक जाएगा, फिर टियर 2 में, तो वो एक हर एक चीज़ की एक जर्नी है. तो जब हम एक कदम बढ़ते जाएंगे और जब कदम और स्ट्रॉन्ग होते हैं और रिफाइन होते हैं, तो ऑफकोर्स पूरा जितना कवर कर सके उतना करेंगे, चाहे टियर 2 हो, चाहे देश का कोई सा भी कौन, क्यों नहीं.
Your visions for Punjab, you've moved so many teams now, and your visions really for the team.
I'm very very excited to play for Punjab, and क्या कहते हैं, it's like a second home for me. I've been a proper Punjabi person, Hindu Punjabi, and पंजाबी मेरे खून में है. मैं पंजाबी में बात करना भी मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगता है. तो आई एम रियली लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड फॉर दिस सीजन. वी गॉट अ वेरी गुड साइड.
And Mayank has been saying that he's very excited to open the innings with you.
Yep, absolutely. Mayank is a great player, and I'm sure he will do great as a captain as well. And of course, I'll provide all my support to him.
Shikhar, आपके बारे में सब कहते हैं there's been a second coming of Shikhar Dhawan, and there's been a resurgence with the Delhi. Ricky Ponting का कुछ contribution रहा है क्या? And the way they say that you've become matured, yet the aggressive spirit in you is still very much there.
बिल्कुल, कोच का बहुत बड़ा रोल रहता है. रिकी पॉन्टिंग ने मेरे को बहुत बैक किया, और ही इज़ अ ग्रेट कोच. आई रियली enjoyed playing under him, and of course I will miss him. I had great time with Delhi, and but हर एक चीज़ का एक वक्त होता है, I guess. तो but I really enjoyed working with him, and अब वो maturity है जो मेरा confidence है इतने सालों से मैं अच्छा कर रहा हूँ, तो वही चीज़ I'll bring that thing on table for Kings 11.
One of the big things we expect for you is to feature in the ICC T20 team. How are you looking forward to that challenge now, end of the year?
See, of course, if I perform well, then हमेशा दरवाजे खुले हैं. तो I'm enjoying my journey. I'm very happy. I've been playing good cricket. I've been performing quite well from past few years. So I'm very happy about that. और बाकी जो आगे मालिक.
And that's a wrap on this bulletin from the entire team. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.